And I came to America first. The first musician I met was a man who was already a legendary figure in Irish dance and Irish music, not just in Philadelphia, where he made his home from 1957 onwards, but back in his native Derry, where he won the All-Ireland Dancing Championships an awful lot of times, over 6 times. He was sort of, if you want to put it in certain terms, he was the Michael Flatley of his day. There was no World Championship in Irish dance, but there was the All-Ireland Championship, and he kept winning it, and eventually he ended up in Philadelphia. He became better known there as a fiddle player with an expertise in the beautiful slow airs of Ireland and the set dances. He had some classical training, but he really was in his own category. I played with him for 26 years all over the joint. He was full of mischief and divilment, and he just loved every musician he ever met. Not an ounce of envy in Eugene O'Donnell. And he passed away just 10 days ago in Derry at the great age of 88. And myself and Billy and Athena spent a wonderful day with him in January, and we said our goodbyes. And you know, 88 is a great age, he had a great life. He died back in his native Derry, which he loved, and that's what he wanted. In many ways, there's no reason to be too sad. He had a great life, and he fulfilled his own dream. We will do a tribute to him, and when we performed in Philadelphia, often in the searing summer heat, it could be 100 degrees. A young dancer came along and always helped us. And sometimes we played with Seamus Egan when he got old enough to play. And her name was Kieran Jordan. You've seen her already tonight. And she sort of was a staple figure with me and Eugene and Seamus for many years in Philadelphia. And what Kieran wants to do is talk a little bit about her own experience in those early years. And we choreographed, well, should I say, Kieran choreographed a beautiful tribute to Eugene O'Donnell.
Well, I think I just got lucky. You know, I was lucky to grow up in the right place in the right time, because Philadelphia in the 1980s, when I was studying step dancing, was really being led by Mick Moloney. And I got to see Mick and Eugene and the Greenfields play many times when I was kind of like 11, 12, 13 years old. And then my teacher at the time, Sheila McHugh, started to bring me along to the gigs. So my first gigs were with Mick Moloney and Eugene O'Donnell. So it was a thrill then, it's a thrill now to be up here with all of these fabulous musicians. And as Mick said, it was often the trio, Mick, Eugene, and Seamus Egan. And we would play in these outdoor concert settings. Sometimes we played in shopping malls. Sometimes at the University of Pennsylvania in the nice courtyards, a lot of the historic settings around Philadelphia. So when we talked just within the last week about doing a dance for Eugene, I was listening to his album Slow Airs and Set Dances. And you don't often see Irish dance, or any dance really, done to Irish slow airs. I think it's a real shame. I think it's something that we should explore a lot more. And the question would be, how do you dance to a slow air? So I'm making this up. It's an improvisation. And when I was listening to this air about a week ago, it was a very rainy night in Boston, and the sound of the rain and the sound of the birds was blending with the sound of the music, and I thought that Eugene would like it. So this is kind of an imaginative piece about Eugene, his life in Philadelphia, and there's a very literal tribute to Seamus, Eugene, and Mick at the end of the dance.